In this video, I will be talking about lights that we use in videography and filmmaking, and mostly your first purchase of a light source that we call also a key light. Hello everyone and welcome back to another video on my channel. I'm Photorabs. I make videos about photography, filmmaking, camera tech related reviews, unboxings, action cams, vlogging kits and so on. If you are interested in these topics, I highly appreciate if you go subscribe to my channel. That's a massive help. And in today's video, I'm going to talk about lights that we use in filmmaking and videography, and mainly the key light, which is the first light source that we use to light up our scene or to light up our subject for the YouTube videos as well. This video is not sponsored by Zhiyun because I'm gonna talk mainly about this Molis B200 from Zhiyun. This video is not sponsored by Zhiyun. They did not pay me to do it, but I decided to make it so I can show you a little bit how I use the key light and why I use a key light, why I need this key light, and why I think that this one is the perfect output power that we need as content creators, as videographers, or as filmmakers. By the way, I have affiliate links with Zhiyun. You can check them in the description box. If you buy via these links, you don't pay extra money, but you help my channel a lot so I can create more content like this on this platform. And now let's start talking about this light and how I set it up. So when you would like to purchase your first key light, you have to think about two things mainly. The first one is the output power of the light, to be able to use it in the way that you want, and you can use it in different scenes, in different kind of scenarios. That's something very important. And the second thing is that it should have an adjustable Kelvin temperature, which is mainly the temperature of the light. The higher the number is, the cooler the tone will be, and the lowest the number is, the warmer the tones will be on your image. So think about these two main things when purchasing your first key light. On the other hand, the market is flooded with lots of lights from different brands at different output powers with different price range. So it's very difficult for us to choose which one is more suitable for our needs. In this video, I'm going to tell you why I think this Molis B200 from Zhiyun is, in my opinion, the best key light I can find in 2024 up till now, that I can use as a key light, or I can use also on my client photo shoots and video shoots. You might say you don't need the light if you can film near a window, for example, so you can have this as a key light. But now you are watching this video here filmed with my Fujifilm X-H2S. I'm near the window. I will use now the Pocket 3 so I can show you the setup. So the window is here, but the light outdoors is changing a lot. And I have these curtains here to soften a little bit the light. And if I open these curtains, you can see that the light is not even anymore and it's like washed out. Of course, I can bring my shutter speed a little bit up. I can close the aperture, but if I would like to film at a fixed aperture without changing the shutter speed, this is gonna be a big problem for the videos that I would like to make. So let's take this again. So now I have these curtains here that I use to soften the light coming from outside. But since the light outside is changing a lot, we have lots of clouds passing by and going, so the light is not something constant out there. So I cannot rely on this window here, on this door, on this open space here in order to make it as a key light for my videos. That's why for me, I prefer to close the blinds for these windows and use a key light where I can control everything in it: the power, the temperature, and of course the direction and the diffusion of this light. And as you can see, the color temperature in this room is changing a little bit because we don't have an even light source or a constant light source from outside. That's why it's really important to have an adjustable color temperature key light that you can use in order to make the temperature of the light in the way that you like. For example, I like the tones on the skin when the temperature is around 5600 Kelvin. I think it's rich, but at the same time it's not very saturated, it's not very yellowish and not very bluish. So I like the tint and the tones at 5600 Kelvin. Now I will close these blinds and I will continue talking about the light. So as these blinds are closing, you can see the difference in the light. So now the image is getting darker on this camera. I still have another window to the other side. I will go to close it, to close the blinds. Okay, now I can see that I'm totally dark here. I'm shooting at f1.4 here, shutter speed 1/50th of the second, and ISO 160 on this Fuji X-H2S. Now the other window blind is closing and we are in complete darkness now. Okay, the Fuji is trying to focus on my face. I can see a little bit the square to focus. Okay, and if I would like to use my ceiling light that I have in this living room, this is what it looks like. I can change, of course, the color temperature. So now I will increase the ISO first. I was at 160, now I'm at 1600. And the image is very yellowish. Of course, I can change the white balance. I have to stop recording first. So this is a white balance at 2500, but I don't like it, to be honest. I don't like this one. I will go back to 5600 on my Fuji X-H2S and start turning this light, the smallest B200, and playing with it in order to achieve the best light I can have in this little space here. As you see, this is a harsh light coming out from this one now. I'm at 1% exactly, and the color temperature is 5600 Kelvin. So this is only 1%. Let me turn off the ceiling lights. So this is the light at 1%, 5600 Kelvin, the temperature of this light. And this is only 1%, and you can see it's a very harsh light. It's not diffused. We have this reflector ball here that we have, and it's a very harsh light. Although you can see me, but you can see the shadow behind. And again, I don't like this kind of light for the footages that I do for my YouTube videos and for my client work. So let us try to diffuse, to soften this light a little bit, to see how we can manage it and how we can control it even better. The first thing I will use is this grid here that I can put in front of this reflector ball. Okay. And you can see that the light now is a bit different than before. I can turn it in order to have the direction of the light that I want. And for example, this one is not bad. The light is still harsh, but this one for me is not bad at all. By the way, this light is the Molus B200. We can find the Molus B100, B300 and B500, and the price range of these lights is from 270 euros up to 750 euros. So it's not a cheap light, but you can use it for lots of things, for lots of cases, for lots of light scenes, for lots of YouTube videos and client work. And for me, this one is a good investment. Let's diffuse it a little bit more. I will use this diffuser cloth here that I can put on top of this. So now I can even look at the light because it's diffused with this soft cloth here. So this is how it looks at 1%, 5600 Kelvin with this Molus B200. But once again, if I would like to increase the power, as I'm increasing the power here, I can see that the light becomes so harsh, and once again this is not something that I like. I can put it a little bit far away from me. I can see myself clearly on the LCD screen of this Fuji X-H2S, but the light is not what I like to have in my videos. So let us try to diffuse this light in a different way to see different light modifiers and how we can use them in our advantage. And for example, I have this lantern here from Zion. This is, I think, a 60 centimeter lantern. This one will diffuse the light a lot. So let's see what we can achieve with this one, and then we can see if we like it or not, or if I have to change it to another modifier. So this is the lantern here. I'm still at 1% output power, and you can see that the light is much more diffused now, and the light quality is nicer than before. Before with this one it was so harsh, but with this one I can see on the screen, whether on the Osmo Pocket 3 or on the X-H2S, that the image is better. The image quality looks much better with this light. But what I don't like about lanterns in such cases, in such videos, is that you can see that we have lots of light also behind, and this light is not very well controlled because it will spill out all over this globe, all over this lantern, from all sides, to the front and to the back, to the upper part and to the lower part. So we have lots of light up on the ceiling as well, and we have lots of light on the ground. So that's not something that I like to have. Once again, I prefer to control my light, especially for my YouTube videos, for my client work, so I don't have to worry about what's happening in the background and so on. So now I will change this one, and I will use a regular softbox. This is a 60 centimeter softbox. Now I have two diffuser panels here. You can see this one, and I have another one from the inside. I will put this one instead of the lantern, and we can see the difference. Now I'm facing this softbox, and the light is quite interesting. I'm at only 1% output power, which is good if I'm not so far from it. And we can see that we don't have much light coming around. Let's go up to the ceiling. We have just here some light, but we don't have behind. And if we go down again, in the front part of this softbox we have light, and before it we don't have light. So that's something starting to be interesting according to my taste, according to what I like on my videos. So this one is the softbox with 2 layers of diffusion. What we can add to make it even more directional is to use these grids here, what we call honeycomb grid. So let us install it. So we can see a difference between the light now with this honeycomb grid and before without it. And I can turn it, so I can, let me take this from here so I can show it to you. So I can turn this one, so I can have the light coming in the direction that I like. Personally, I really love this kind of soft boxes with a honeycomb grid, but in order to make the light even better on me, I like to take it a little bit higher and then tilt it down towards me with a 45-degree angle approximately. So this kind of light is really interesting for me. The light is a little bit above me at 45 angles from me, so this is very interesting. I can see we have nice highlighted areas, nice shadow area. We have a dark background still, so we can add maybe some lights in the background to make it even more interesting, to have some depth into the footage that we are recording. Okay Google, allume ces jours. So now we have this light here. to add more interest into the image, to create more depth. And I think it's really interesting. And we can also add another light. I have this one, the X60 from Zhiyun. This one is the RGB color. Let's turn it on. Let's change the hue. Let's put something around blue. Okay, this teal color, I like it a lot. So I can put this one here maybe in the background. And now we have somehow nice depth. We have created something interesting in the background to create the separation between me and the dark background that we had before. And this is really important in order to make the audience more interested in what you are posting and what you are creating. So this kind of setup is easy to achieve and is quite simple to make. These are the 3 lights that I'm using now. The key light here, I have that one that is in my apartment. I can use it as a backlight, and I also made this one, the smallest X60 RGB from Zhiyun, as a backlight as well. So let me know what do you think about this setup in the comment section below. We have 3 lights once again, the key light, the backlight here that I'm using from Zhiyun, and the backlight that is already in my apartment that I'm using now to create this depth and this touch of color in the background. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And since the light is a little bit higher from you at a 45-degree angles towards you, so you cannot reach easily the backside of the light to change the temperature or the output power. That's why having a good application is important, like the output power and adjustable color temperature. This ZY application from Zhiyun is an amazing one. It works smoothly without issues. I've used it maybe for the last couple of months without having any problem with it. I can control the light, I can change the power. I can also change the temperature, 2700 Kelvin up to 6500 Kelvin, but I like it at 5600. And let's go down with the power to about maybe 5%. Of course, you can use any other COB light that you have already with any kind of diffuser of softbox or whatever you would like to use as a light modifier. But for me, this is very important to try the light, to try the different modifiers, to search for the look that you want for your videos and not stick to only one light scheme, to use it in all your videos and to use it all around, whether for your YouTube videos, your talking headshots, your B-rolls, or your client work. So for me, this is very important to have this ability to adapt the light to your needs, and that's why I use this 200 watts, because I know whenever I need to have more light, I can crank it up and I can use it. And by the way, this light has a new ventilation technology on the backside, so it will not get very warm, very hot. So even at 100%, it's not so hot, even though I don't recommend you to touch it if you are using it above 50% power, because it is warm, but it's not so hot. It's not burning hot, if I can say that. Keep that in mind when using a high power light. And this light has a huge advantage, which is the compactness of the light and the weight of the light. It weighs only 1.4 kilograms. By the way, if you're interested about all the specs of this light, you can go watch the video. I'll put a card here, you can click it, or I'll put the link in the description box as well. So that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts about it in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already done it. Let me know if you'd like to see more videos like this where I show you how I set up my stuff, my gears, whether lights, cameras, or so on for my YouTube videos, and I'll try to make that. Don't forget to check my affiliate links down below. If you buy via these links, you don't pay extra money, but you help my channel a lot. And thank you for watching. Ciao for now.